What do you think is the strongest one-shot build you can make inside Baldur's Gate 3? Hey guys, I'm Ronan, welcome to the channel. I cleared honor mode a bit ago as a party of 4, and now I'm on a mission to make solo builds for every single character. From the intro, obviously we are talking Astarion here. If you're new here, like and subscribe, and comment on what you want to see next. Suicide Squash, thank you for being a member. If you want early access to videos like this, shoutouts like they have, and some other perks, then hit join down below. This build is super easy to understand, everyone. You go 6 levels into Bard, College of Swords to get extra attack and to have flourishes. You go 4 levels into Assassin, that way you get an extra feat and guaranteed crit chance against surprised enemies, and 2 levels into Fighter in order to get Action Surge. My stats starting on screen that you can see now may seem odd, but unfortunately we only have 2 feats with this build, so we are going to be utilizing the Hag's Hair. And of course the feats we utilize here, if you do want to get maximum damage, will be Sharpshooter and ASI to get your dexterity to 20. Alright guys, the concept of this build is to use the most broken bow in this game to do massive damage to your enemies. That is the Titan String Bow. This gives you damage equal to your strength modifier as additional damage. Early on in Act 1, this bow you can get super early. You can also get the Club of Hill Giant strength in Act 1 as well, which will give you 19 strength automatically, giving you a +4 modifier to strength, which means +4 damage. Combine that with Sharpshooter, you're at +14 damage on top of your dex modifier as well. So assuming you have 18 dex or 20 dex is another 4 to +5. Basically, and another +20 damage for free. Combine that with the Elixir Hill Giant Strength, and it's a +5 modifier, or when you get to Act 3, the Cloud Giant Strength Elixir, giving you a +8 modifier, which is absolutely insane, which is how I have 27 strength now. Now, the Titan String Bow is the bow you will utilize from Acts 1 all the way throughout Acts 3. I did use the Drakethroat Glaive on this weapon to give another +1 enhancement and 1d4 lightning damage. And because my Astarion in Act 3, I did choose to have him become the Vampire Lord, he gets another 1d10 to necrotic damage to all weapon attacks. So this bow hits very, very hard by itself. You can combine that though, College of Sword flourishes, and you have all kinds of different things you can do. I have the ranged versions, which is what we're going to talk about because it's ranged and melee. So for the ranged versions I like using, you can increase your AC by +4. Fantastic. I can knock someone away and then choose to teleport to them if I need to. Or the very strong one, the Slashing Flourish Ranged. I can attack 2 enemies at once, and you can target the same enemy with this. So you can attack the same target twice in one turn with one attack. And if you use it back to back, you can attack the same target 4 times. It is actually cracked and super strong. Now, let's talk about some other gear here. Throughout Acts 1 and 2, use whatever armor you want to utilize. I'm going to talk about what makes this build super overpowered in Act 3. No surprise, that is the Ballist Armor. Enemies take double damage from piercing weapons. Well, guess what? Your bow is piercing. The Aura of Murder has a range of 10 feet. So if you're basically at the 10 or 9 foot ranged area, you can get no penalty on your attack rolls and still do double damage. It is absolutely insane. And if you are at a disadvantage, then simply attack with melee weapons. Speaking of melee weapons, you may think things like Crimson Mischief may be the best, right? Actually, it's not, because we do become a ball assassin in Act 3 to get the Ballist Armor. During the quest chain, you can find a weapon called Dollar Amoris, which gives anytime you crit +7 additional damage. You can actually buy another one off the vendor that you get the Ballist Armor from as well, and you can dual wield these, giving you +14 damage when you crit. Here's the kicker. It says weapon and unarmed attacks. It makes it seem like this weapon alone. It's not true. This will apply to your ranged weapons. And because you can get 100% crit chance at the start of combat if you surprise the enemy, that's a lot of additional damage. But wait, there's more. You can also add in the Crater Flesh Gloves, which do additional force damage whenever you crit, which will also be doubled, which are also affected by Dolor Amoris. So when you crit at the start of combat, you're going to have so much extra bonus damage, it's unreal. Not to mention you can add your sneak attacks in as well and just completely destroy enemies. I like using the Diadem of Arcane Synergy just to have even more weapon damage, but you don't necessarily need this. If you would like to utilize something else like the Helmet of Arcane Acuity, that way you can get Arcane Acuity stacks to use spells, you certainly can, and that pairs really well with the Band of Mystic Scoundrel, which will then allow you to use bonus actions for things like Hold Person, Whispers, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, or even your cantrip, Vicious Mockery. If you want even more damage though, you can apply your rings to this. You have the Strange Conduit ring. Whenever you're concentrating, your attacks deal additional 1d4 psychic. You can use a spell like Enhance Ability on yourself, which will then give you a concentration spell, which is very useful. And I like using the one per Cat's Grace to give me advantage on dexterity checks, so things like stealth and things like that is very useful. Of course, the Caustic Band, just another +2 acidic damage, or if you want advantage at all times, you can use the Risky Ring as well. My necklace of choice is Broodmother's Revenge. Anytime I use a potion or I'm healed at all, so I can use a bonus action like my heal that I have, or anytime you bite someone with Astarion because he gets healed from his bite attack, you will get weapon poison damage on your bow, so even more weapon damage. It's absolutely insane. And of course, your cloak and boots, use whatever you want. The boots, I should choose Nightwalkers because it gives me free Misty Step. And if you want even more damage, you can use the Crusader's Mantle from this cloak here, or pretty much utilize any other cloak that you wish. So how does this work in combat then? Well, keep in mind, because you are utilizing a bow, you can utilize arrows that are really useful. Things like Arrow of Many Targets, which will hit multiple targets at once, and if they're all surprised, this will crit every single one. Arrow of Humanoid Slaying, if you want to just do double damage to humanoids, which is how I one-shot Gortash in the beginning of this video. Arrow of Dragon Slaying, like there's so many useful arrows that will just do insane damage to those targets. Alright. Go stealth. Alright, so now it should be good to do some good damage to the enemies. So you can see they're all up there. I'm going to go ahead and just simply attack them normally. Let's go ahead and instead of using sneak attack, as you can see, you can have it auto proc, or you can choose. That's going to be up to you how you want to use it. I'm going to go ahead and just have it to auto proc here. And let's go ahead and just hit a ranged attack on her down below. And you can see they are all surprised. We'll sneak attack in as well, just to get the extra sneak attack in. Now this is when things get really, really crazy. You see how they're all surprised here? So when I attack them, I'm going to crit all of them. Now you can see though, when I get up close, I'm too close to my target in order to get advantage or anything like that. So normally you would have disadvantage. The reason I don't right now is because of the Risky Ring. You can see they're really close. So I would want to move out of range so I don't have disadvantage. I already used up all my movement though, so I can't do that here. But I am going to showcase how powerful the Arrow of Many Targets are. So it's just by using one simple range attack, Arrow of Many Targets, we're going to hit you, and look how much damage this will do. That's a lot of damage. And you can see she has 1 HP left. Because I'm far enough away to where I'm not at a disadvantage, I can still get Aura of Murder. Watch how much damage this is going to do. And I'm going to use my Bardic Inspiration here. We're going to go with my ranged flourish here to hit 2 enemies at once. We're going to hit her, and we're going to hit you. We will go ahead and auto crit this guy just because I want to anyway. I don't know if he's surprised or not, which is why we're going to use it. And they're gone. Like, that's a lot of damage. You could see off the first target I hit right there, 122 piercing damage. That is a lot. The extra force damage. Look at all the extra things I get from Delora Morris. Like, it's so much extra damage. It's unreal. So I used an invisibility potion to get over here where I am now so no one would see me. We're going to use Minor Illusion. And we're going to cast this up here. So hopefully Gortash will kind of be by himself. Not quite by himself, but it is what it is. Ooh, dang. He knocked me down and everything. Broke my concentration. It means I lose out on some of my damage from my ring, which is a little unfortunate, but that's okay. We're going to use our bonus action. I'm just going to go ahead and heal just to coat my weapon in poison. You can see he's right there. He's about 13 feet away, and we know the Aura of Murder has a 10-foot radius. So if I move up just slightly here, not quite. How far? Oh, so I need like almost like half a foot. Still doesn't have it. Let's try just a little bit more because I don't want to get too close and get disadvantage. There we go. Now we're going to absolutely destroy him. You can see I have it on auto. So now when I go to use humanoid slaying, watch how much damage I do. When I one-shot him, that was a lot of damage. You can see 96 plus another 8 lightning. And look at all the extra damage from the crit, from the double Dolor Amaris we talked about. Extra poison, extra necrotic, 108 piercing, 3 lightning, another 8 poison, another 2 necrotic, 28 force damage times 2, and 74 piercing from my sneak attack on top of another 70 force damage. The damage is on screen now for how much I did in one single hit. Absolutely insane. Yeah, that's a lot of damage.